If you're a high income earner, a doctor, an entrepreneur, a top exec, you've probably been told to just max out your 401k and you're good. But what if I told you that is terrible advice that's setting you up for a gigantic tax bomb in retirement? A bomb that could literally vaporize 30, 40, or even 50% of your life's work. The wealthiest people in the country play a completely different game. They don't have their entire future tied to a government plan with insanely low contribution limits. They use a secret strategy to get around those limits, protect their money from market crashes, and build a giant pile of tax-free retirement monies. Today, we're going to show you what that is. Let's break down why your 401k is not enough and how a crazy, powerful alternative could change your retirement from tax anxiety to tax free. Let's be super clear. The 401k is an awesome tool. And yes, you should definitely use it. If your boss offers you free money, you need to take every last dime. Not doing that is literally turning down free money. But for high income earners, once you get that free money, the 401k starts to feel less like a golden ticket and more like golden handcuffs. It feels safe, but it's a trap that exposes you to three huge risks. First, there's the contribution ceiling. The IRS puts a hard cap on how much you can save. For 2025, that limit is $23,500. If you're 50 or older, you get a little boost to $31,000. Now, just think about how crazy that is. If you're making $400,000, $500,000 or more, how are you supposed to save enough to keep your lifestyle when you're capped at a tiny fraction of your income? It's like trying to fill a swimming pool with a Dixie cup. The second and much bigger problem is the inevitable tax bomb. A 401k isn't tax free, it's tax later. You get a tiny break today, but you're promising to pay taxes on everything later, your money and all the growth. You're basically betting that taxes will be lower when you retire. Looking at the world today, is that a bet you really want to make? You have a silent partner in your retirement account, the IRS, and they'll decide how much of your money they're going to take later. This brings us to the third problem, government control. Because the IRS is your partner, they make the rules. When you turn 73, they literally force you to start taking money out called required minimum distributions or RMDs. You have to take money out and pay taxes on it, whether you need it or not. This can easily push you into a higher tax bracket and even make your Social Security taxable. You are not in control. What's the secret? The wealthy use a special tool that we call a laser fund. That stands for liquid assets safely earning returns. The technical name for this is an indexed universal life insurance policy, or IUL. Before you click away thinking, isn't life insurance a terrible investment with high fees? That's a common myth, often spread by people who don't understand how to use these tools properly. When you structure an IUL the right way, it stops being a simple death benefit product and becomes one of the most powerful, tax-free wealth building tools you can find. The strategy isn't about getting the most death benefit for the least money. It's about doing the complete opposite, structuring the policy with the least amount of insurance the IRS allows for the most premium. This flips it from a pure insurance product into a supercharged, tax-advantaged savings vehicle. It's a tax code play. Let's see how this laser fund, or IUL, completely demolishes the three big problems of the 401k. First, it lets you smash through the contribution ceiling. Unlike the 401k, an IUL has no government contribution limits. Now, that doesn't mean you can put in infinite money. There are some rules like the 7-pay test, but for high earners who've already maxed out their 401ks and IRAs, an IUL is one of the only places left to shelter a huge amount of money from taxes. Second, it diffuses the tax bomb. This is the biggest game changer. Instead of tax later like a 401k, an IUL is the opposite. You put in after tax money. In return, your cash grows tax deferred, and you can access it in retirement 100% tax free. You do this through policy loans, which the IRS doesn't see as income. Now, this awesome tax-free treatment only works as long as the policy is active. If you let it lapse, you could owe taxes on the loans. Still, imagine having a multi-million-dollar account you can pull from in retirement without giving the IRS a single dime. That's insane freedom. Third, it puts you back in control. With an IUL, there are no RMDs. Nobody ever forces you to take your money out. You decide when you want income and exactly how much you want to take. And there's a huge bonus, downside protection. Your 401k is directly in the market. When the market tanks or crashes, your account gets destroyed. The cash value in a properly structured IUL, however, isn't directly invested. It's linked to an index like the S&P 500. This gives you a floor, which is typically zero. That means if the index drops 20% or 30%, your cash value account doesn't lose a penny from that drop. Now, you might not hit a 25% home run, but you'll never suffer the devastating 25% strikeout. This is often referred to as the zero is your hero concept. You get to participate in the market's good years up to a cap, but you're protected from the bad ones. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the fees. Critics often yell about the costs inside IULs, and they're not wrong. There are costs. You are paying for the life insurance and policy administration fees. But the question isn't, are there fees? The real question is, are the benefits I get worth those fees? Think of it this way. With a 401k, your biggest fee is the future tax bill, which could easily be 30 or 40% of every dollar you withdraw. In a properly designed IUL, the internal costs are the price you pay to potentially eliminate that massive tax liability forever. You're paying for a powerful bundle, tax-free access, downside protection, and a tax-free death benefit for your family. For many high earners, the cost of avoiding a giant future tax bill is a bargain compared to the tax itself. If you're intrigued by this idea of building tax-free wealth and want to see how this tax-free strategy could be built for you, the next step is to book a complimentary discovery call. In this free consultation, we can look at your situation and show you a personalized illustration of what an IUL could look like for you. Click the link in the description below to schedule your no obligation consultation today. Thank you for watching.